I remember years ago hearing for the first time the idea that we are the company that we keep. And I remember at the time being terrified, scanning the company I was keeping and thinking, shit, I'm in trouble. At the time, of course, I was still smoking copious amounts of pot. I couldn't function without being stoned all day. I was binge drinking and chain smoking 50 to 60 cigarettes a day, and I was either unemployed or working some dead-end factory job that was making me miserable. And I saw no prospects for myself outside of the life that I had been living and had been raised in. And so the idea that I was the company that I keep was a pretty depressing idea that robbed me of hope for the future. And then, of course, if we fast forward several years, of course, I discussed in an earlier video finding those cassette tapes and realizing that I could, through replacing an old idea of who and what I am with a new idea of who and what I am, I could start to gradually move away from where I had been and start to experience new realities and new environments and new peer group. And after a while, after a period of time, about 7 years later, I found myself cast in a rock musical of all things. After having gone from being unable to do something as basic as leave the house to being on stage in a rock musical. And it was a pretty rapid transformation, and it was a surprise to me on opening night to find myself in a rock musical. And I remember distinctly during the rehearsal period feeling like a fraud, feeling like somehow I didn't belong there. It was some kind of fluke, and it was just a matter of time before everyone in that cast and company and the director discovered what a horrible mistake had been made and I'd be cast out. And that was when I realized that it's really not true that we're the company we keep. We're actually the company we're the most comfortable in keeping. And as soon as I realized I was extremely uncomfortable in this company, I again went back to the drawing board and started focusing on affirmations and ideas that I could implant in my mind that would make me comfortable in that setting. And so I would remind myself that simply all that is happening is that I'm in unfamiliar territory, and my mind by default is always going to seek the familiar because it thinks that's what I want. If I'm in the unfamiliar, it's easy for the mind to feel like I'm in some kind of danger, so it'll default to trying to bring me back into a place of security within myself. So I recognized that, and of course I reset the program until I was comfortable in that company, and then I started to really enjoy the process of being a storyteller and an actor and a singer. And it was a far cry from that period in my life where I was so paranoid and so dysfunctional that I couldn't live without being stoned all day, chain smoking all day, binge drinking on a regular basis, and not being able to leave the house through fear of what might happen when I wasn't home. The house might burn down, someone might break in, what might happen to me when I'm outside of the house. Outside seemed like a dangerous place. And to go from there to actually performing in rock musicals and now making a number of short films and being on national television and on TV shows and commercials, it's a far cry, and that is now the familiar. When I think back to the time I was living in that rundown caravan in a rundown caravan park, my goodness, it's a quantum leap. And now I would be very uncomfortable in the company of drug users and drug dealers and chain smokers and binge drinkers. And not because I'm any better, I'm just different now, and that is unfamiliar to me. So if you are working at recreating yourself and you find yourself in the position where you feel like an imposter or a fraud, just know it's actually a great sign that as a result of the work that you've been doing internally and replacing old ideas of who and what you are with new ideas, that has actually resulted in a change of circumstance and in a change of peer group. And perhaps it's just time to tweak the mindset a little bit more with affirmations that are more specific to the exact new environment that you find yourself in. And congratulate yourself, because it's a beautiful thing. You want to make the unfamiliar familiar, make the unknown known, and then one day you'll look back and who and what you were in the past will be the unfamiliar, will be the unknown, and that'll be a day you can smile and congratulate yourself and know that you have recreated yourself in your own image. I trust this video finds you well and happy, and I hope you find it helpful. And I hope that you are surrounding yourself today with people that love you and that you love, and doing things in your day that you love to do. I'm Will Kelly. Until next time, my beautiful friend, bye for now.